What's up, Fit Fam? It's your man, King Leo. And listen, if I haven't said it enough, I just want to thank everybody who's supporting me, who's gone to my channel, Leo Fitness, commented, liked, subscribed. Just continue to keep it going. You keep me motivated. But today, I'm about to talk some ish. You dig? Because I'm just going to get into training in general. And so I called it a rant. I'm not really the type of guy to rant and get upset. But sometimes you got to let some things off your chest, player. So here goes. I want to talk about training chest. So I'm going to get the ladies out of the way because y'all not on my hit list today. Generally, some things that people do, but I just want to dispel some rumors and some myths about training chest for women. And then I'm going to get on these guys' heads because, fellas, y'all really just on some other stuff. So let's get into it. Ladies, you cannot be afraid to train chest. Here's why. Most of you always screaming, oh, I'm going to get a chest like a man. I don't want to look muscular. Look, listen. Just like anything you do, it's methods to everything. It's methods to everything. So let's say you a itty bitty, you a B cup, you a small A, and you're like, hey, I don't want to turn my chest, my little breast into a chest. Well, there's ways not to do it. You don't have to use weights. You can use volume. See, what women don't realize is that mammary gland is what your breasts are made of. I'm sure you know that. Behind that is a pectoral muscle. So that muscle plate behind your mammary gland is really what you're going to work when you lift and press on your chest. That's what gets stronger and pushes out, and that's what lifts and pushes your breast up. That actually helps to aid in lifting. Now you can do cable work, which will help the indention and the crease in that muscle plate to bring in some separation so your breast can round out. And you can also do push-ups, volumized, high volume, and that's going to also help lift your chest up. Okay? You don't have to be afraid. Yeah, when you start handling that iron, you start getting under a barbell, you start doing dumbbell work, and you start doing pressing motions, it is gonna be, the iron is gonna shape that muscle. And so, yeah, it can get a little dense and heavy and turn into a pec if you train it with that kind of intensity to do that. It's always a focus on something. When you train something, you got to realize whatever your focus is. And depending on that focus is how the development of that particular body part is gonna happen. So don't be afraid to train chest. If you really don't want to get muscular and you really don't want to get into that, use volumized training with push-ups, ladies, or some cable, flies, or things of that nature. So that's all I want to talk about with my ladies. Now, fellas, listen, let's talk about chest training, because I had some guys in the gym. Not that I mind. Now let me put a disclaimer on here. I'm not the guru of anything. Of course, you're going to think you're an expert when you do something and you're trained to do it and you've been doing it for a long time and you feel like you have a level of expertise and you have a level of training to offer to someone from a teaching perspective. And that's me. You know, I'm not the best, but I've got a lot of years in training, trial and error, practicing to be able to offer certain fitness things that I do that can help people shape their bodies. I have clients I train right now and I get results based on those things. And that came from all the trial and error, all the mistakes, all the things that I learned from to help make me better. At the same time, I'm still a student of the game, which means, hey, I want to learn too. If you're doing a technique I've never seen before and it has a great basis behind it and I try it and it's something that I can use, I'm gonna rotate it in my regimen. If it's not something I use, I'm still not gonna I'm not gonna discredit it. I may take it in and keep it moving, and that's me. Some people are not the same. They want you to instantly adopt what they want you to do, and if you don't do it, they're gonna present it as if you've been training horribly wrong your entire life until they came along with this grand idea to do something a certain way. Case in point, I'm in the gym and I'm training chest, and it's not on a Monday. Go figure that. So I'm doing my chest routine and it's pretty intense and I'm doing compound movements and things of that nature. So in particular, I'm on the flat bench. So I'm on the flat bench. What's up, girl? I'm on the flat bench, and not that I'm using the weight I'm using just for the point of the story. So I'm going up 225. I'm at 315. I'm at 365. Now I've gotten stronger to the point where on my strength week, I'm at 365 and I'm hitting it for 6 times. So there's a guy next to me and he has 225 on there. Again, doesn't matter about the weight. This guy's arching his back higher than the McDonald's arches. And he stops me and tells me after my set, hey man, you might want to go a little deeper in your chest and bounce off. That'll really put a lot of emphasis and pressure on your chest and really help your chest grow. Now, I'm a silly guy, so instantly I laughed like, oh yeah? Oh, all right. Yeah, man. So I listened to him. He had a whole explanation, which really didn't mean anything because the dude was training horribly wrong. He was little. He was barely getting his weight up. He had a spotter. And he was grunting and snorting, and his back was completely round, arched off the bench. I don't even know how he got it up. And he probably gonna need 10 years of chiropractic work after he finished that shit because it looked terrible. So then I'm on my set, and I'm at like the 4th rep. I hit 365 at 2 sets at the end. I've been doing my training, and this is probably my 6th set, and I hit it for 4. And he gets over me. Come on, man, all the way down, push your chest. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, hey, hold on. So I get it off of the bench. And I'm like, hold on, man, you can't come in the middle of my set. Well, man, I don't want you doing wrong. I say, hey, look, man. Look, dog. You see what I'm doing? And you see what you doing. I said, trust me, man. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate the information. But I think I got it over here. I think I got it. He's like, you sure, man? I don't know. You don't know? But you weigh 120, if that. How you don't know? I'm 230, and it's obvious I'm training. Why would I not know what to do? So with that being said, let me go over a few protocols for chest training. Since he's not the only guy to ever do that. That happens pretty often. I try to stay to myself. I don't really get in people's gym business, but a lot of folks always want to seem to, I don't know, come over to me and feel like they need to help me out when they have nothing to offer me. Not saying they don't, but when you start spouting crazy misnomer knowledge like that, I can't get with that. So let's talk about some chest protocol. First of all, let's talk about the warm-up. When you're approaching any kind of exercise, I don't care how long it takes you, warm those muscles up. Warm those shoulders up. Even do a couple of warm-up sets on the bench to get you prepared for what you're going to do. And that's any exercise. Second thing, know what kind of protocol you're going to initiate when you go in the gym. So for me, I have a training split like this. If I'm doing chest, I have a volume week where I'm doing high reps. I'm doing a lot of sets to pump blood into the muscle to really tear it down. So that way, when it builds it up, it makes me a hard net of connective tissues to stabilize and grow. So when I go on my heavy week, it can support the weight. So I have a volume week and I have a heavy week. And on my heavy week, I go up in 10% increments of my maximum strength to try to test my strength levels in each exercise, depending on what I'm doing, in order to get PRs, but in order to fully develop that muscle and make it bigger and stronger. That's number one. Number two, you gotta, number two, after your warm up, you have to realize where your hand placement is gonna be. Now, what I'm saying that to say is, a lot of guys put their pinky at the edge of each of the dumbbells, and you lift from there, and that's a wide grip. Well, my philosophy is you got to grow as your chest grows. So that might be a little too wide for you. If that's too wide, maybe your chest is not wide enough yet to compensate for the wide grip. So you go in a little bit until it feels like you can get a maximum pump and a lift off your chest as you push the weight up. That's going to maximize the volume you put in. That's going to also allow you to your wrist to be more stable to compensate for the strength you need also in order to push the weight and keep the constant tension on your chest muscle. Because I never had a chest. Growing up, chest is not my strong body part. I've willed it to grow over time, and I've allowed it to grow based on my technique. Now, I'm not trying to, hit y'all up with it, but see, that I've done that volume chest over time. I've given myself a round chest that I had to build over time. That took a lot of work. My upper chest is thick up here. It's still not as big as you want it. Upper chest is always something you want to grow. And then I have a full round bottom chest. You do that, that's completely training your pec muscle. So again, my chest protocol is a volume week and a strength week. Also in that chest protocol, you have to talk about what you're going to work. So if I'm working chest protocol, emphasis might be upper chest, which means that, hey, if I'm doing 5 exercises for chest, at least 3 of them are going to be for upper chest, because that's the emphasis that I'm training on. Okay? So after you get your hand placement right, and you can move it up or down depending on, like right now I'm at about my second or third finger, and that gives me a real good pump, and that's as wide as my chest is. I can go pinky real wide, but my chest is big and wide, but for my body and where I'm at right now, that just works for me. That grip. Find your grip. Secondly, all of this coming down in chest bounce. So look, it's a lot of old school dudes that do it. I know people that do it. I don't really want to critique it, but honestly, what that does is you put a lot of pressure on your elbows. You put a lot of pressure on your lower back because you're constantly bouncing the weight up. You're not stabilizing anything with any kind of control. So yeah, it works for now, but eventually, them elbows gonna start aching once you go up in weight, because you're gonna start feeling confident, because it's gonna stimulate your chest. And then that lower back's gonna start hurting a little bit, and then you're gonna pull off of it, or you might injure your shoulder, or you might tear your chest, because you're not gonna come off of that weight because you ego lifting already, because it feels good. And then you're doing all these fast bouncing presses that's not stimulating the chest. See, if you're bodybuilding, you have to build that muscle with technique. You can't build it with speed and just fast pumping. And because you feel a little pump because you done 100 reps, you think that that's working. That's not working. You're not stimulating the muscle. You have to put stimulation and pressure on that muscle belly to grow. And you're going to do that with strict technique. You don't have to go super slow. You don't have to do pause reps, which is called, but you can do an even motion up and down to make sure you stimulate your chest. See, just by me doing this pressing motion, you can see my chest is stimulated just from that pressing motion, because my elbows are tucked in. My elbows are tucked into my body. I use a palm grip here. This is the grip I use. I pull in, I go out. I pull in, I go out. I pull in, I go out. A lot of guys think, I know that was net. I pull in, I go out. Anyway, a lot of guys think that if you hurry up and pump the weight out, you're staying with your chest, boy. So a lot of guys think if you chest bounce, that's what you're doing. You all on your sternum. You're not really stimulating that chest, man. Also, you can use your lower back, okay, as a cheat method when you have experience. And that comes with mind and muscle connection. And what I mean by that is this. You know what's up, girl? You know what movement stimulates your chest. If you've been doing it for a while, and your muscle bellies, you know at a certain angle when you curl a weight or when you press something, that moment you feel the muscle squeeze is where the moment where it's really being stimulated. That's that mind muscle connection. So say you don't have a spotter and you're not using a Smith machine, both of which you should be doing. So you got your weight belt on because you want to protect your lower back. Power lifters use this method a lot, where they pull their shoulder blades up to the top of the bench and you pull your legs on the side of you, almost as if you're in a running motion. You're going to be on your toes, and you're only going to use that move at the very end of your last couple of reps. So if you got a heavier weight and you say you want to hit it 6 to 8 times, when you get to the 6th rep, then you want to slightly arch your back off of your shoulders, squeeze your abs, and push off, and slightly use your quads and hamstrings and your calf muscles to elevate you to be able to push that weight off. That's a cheating method you can use. But you only do that for the last couple of reps, and it's still very controlled. You don't come off the rip arced out like a rainbow and lifting this crazy heavy weight. I had a guy with 245 plates on. He asked if I would spot him. Slimmer guy, wants to do chest. Once I saw what his technique, I said, hold on, man, I can't spot you doing that, brother. You're going to have to put your back on the bench and lift right. He's like, what do you mean lift right? I said, my man, you don't see anything wrong. I could put my whole arm, literally, I could slide under the arch you making with your back. How do you think you're stimulating your chest? Well, this is how I learned. Well, you learned wrong, my man. You're going to hurt yourself for years to come and snap your back up. Snap City, that mother. You know what I'm saying? And then beyond that, too, work different angles to your chest, okay? Do enough sets to stimulate yourself. Make sure that you work different angles. Make sure you do your cables and you do your dumbbells and barbells. Alternate things like that. And the biggest point I want to get to, and I'm gonna close it out soon, is all this ego lifting. Look, man, bodybuilding, you making that muscle look pretty, all right? So that's what you do on your volume week. On your strong week, yeah, you want to put heavy weight on there. You want to push it out. You want to be a big man. I know, right? I'm trying to help these brothers, but that's why I try not to get into people's business, man. I'm a personal trainer. I've been a paramedic so long. I know the body, I know the anatomy. Then just studying how to train. Again, I've learned a lot of techniques from guys I've watched and asked and learned and watched on YouTube, and guys I've seen out and asked what they've done, and we've collaborated and traded information. I don't have a problem doing that, but when you flat out wrong and then you trying to educate me, I just can't handle it. And that happens more often than not because somehow these guys got it twisted. They watch these power lifters and nobody knows what you're trying to do. Either you want the muscle to look pretty, or either you want to be big and thick and you trying to move heavy weight for a purpose. If that purpose is to power lift or to just be swole, then do that. But if you say you bodybuilding, that's a technical approach because you're stimulating the muscle. You're pumping blood in the muscle. You're filling the muscle with blood. You're tearing it down to build it up, to shape it, to look like something. So when you're in your clothes, you look good. That's what bodybuilding is. And if you live the bodybuilding lifestyle, that doesn't mean you want to compete. That just means you respect the techniques and the viewpoint they have in helping shape the human body to a point where it looks like a sculpture. It was like a sculpted body just hammered by the gods, you know what I mean? You know, and even if you never reach that, the trying to attain that goal is supposed to be the fun part with it. It's supposed to be fun, but that's how these cats end up snapping something up, hurting themselves, killing themselves, shoulder injuries, lower back injuries, tearing the pec muscle, because nobody wants to listen. So listen, guys, know your craft, train right. Go check out my channel, Leo Fitness. And that's another thing. If you're checking out Leo Fitness, I appreciate you liking my post about the channel. Go on there and subscribe. I need subscribers. I need to know that when I put a video out, it's going to pop up on your phone and you're going to go check it out. And then you're going to check it out again. And another one, and like it. And tell your friends. And then let your friends tell your friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be out here, people. Help a brother out. Well, anyway, I appreciate it. And I got work to do. So do you. So get to it. Get dirty doing it. But most importantly, get it done. Get it done.